Spirit possession is an unusual altered state of consciousness and associated behaviors. This phenomena is caused by disembodied spiritual beings taking full control of a human body for the purpose of living out their own depraved desires through a human vessel. The concept of spiritual possession exists within many cultures and religions. Depending on the cultural context in which it is found, possession may be considered voluntary or involuntary. In many shamanistic rituals found throughout the world, spiritual possession is often voluntary and done on purpose. Shamans believe they are interacting with the spirit world through altered states of consciousness. The goal of this is usually to direct spirits or spiritual energies into the physical world for the purpose of healing, divination, special knowledge, or to aid human beings in some other way. These demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim that were wiped out during the Great Flood. The Nephilim are the bastard children of the rebellious angels known as the Watchers, and their sinful human mothers. The Nephilim were evil, violent monsters that caused much pain and sorrow to the humans during the time of Noah. You and I know them as the giants, titans, and demigods found in the mythological stories of the ancient world. In addition to Enoch, the Book of Jubilees also states that ridding the earth of these Nephilim was one of God's purposes for flooding the earth in Noah's time. These were genetic monsters that were never supposed to exist in the first place. Although their physical forms were destroyed by the flood, their spirits remained on earth. The disembodied spirits of the Nephilim became what has been known as demons or unclean spirits. We see their destructive influence within the Old and New Testament accounts of demonic possession. The Book of Enoch explains the motives for the Nephilim spirits' desire to inhabit and possess human bodies. These beings hunger and thirst, yet they have no bodies. They have depraved desires and cravings of the flesh, yet no flesh to fulfill these cravings. These evil beings are desperate and will do anything they can to try and possess your body so that they may live out their depraved evil desires through the medium of a human vessel. Spiritual possession of any kind, including demonic, is not a psychiatric or medical diagnosis that is recognized by the DSM-5, which is the handbook used by healthcare professionals in the United States and much of the world as the authoritative guide to the diagnosis of mental health disorders. People alleged to be plagued by spirits sometimes exhibit symptoms similar to those associated with mental illnesses, such as psychosis, schizophrenia, and dissociative identity disorder. Although the secular world is confident in their belief that demonic possession and influence doesn't exist, they have yet to show any cures or observable evidence that the issue many patients experience are purely physical and not spiritual. The psychiatric industry can only provide sedatives with no hope in sight for a cure. I have interviewed a retired licensed psychotherapist who has worked as a psychotherapist for close to 40 years. His name is Dr. Jerry Marzinski, and in his own words, he told me that in the beginning of his career as a psychiatrist, he did not believe in the existence of demons. However, eventually throughout his career, his denial system shattered, and he began truly listening to his schizophrenic patients and realized that their problem was possibly spiritual in nature and not physical. He realized that demons do exist and they plague many people throughout the world. Many Christians within the West believe that demonization was a problem that the early church had to deal with, but this problem does not affect us anymore. However, the Bible never stated that the problem ceased. The devil simply relabeled these issues as a physical problem and not a spiritual one. Perhaps the best evidence of demonic possession and influence is found within the phenomena known as the visionary killers. Visionary killers often suffer from psychosis, which causes them to lose touch with reality. A visionary killer is somebody that kills because they believe that an entity is commanding them to do so. They often pick random targets and lack planning. In other words, unlike the other killers, they don't have a type. They give little to no effort to cover up their crimes. Herbert Mullin was a visionary killer who murdered 13 people in the early 1970s. He believed that American casualties in the Vietnam War were somehow preventing a catastrophic earthquake in California. As the war wound down and U.S. casualties decreased, Mullin claimed that a supreme voice told him to raise the number of human sacrifices in order to delay an earthquake that would plunge California into the ocean. Following his eventual capture, Mullin confessed to his crimes and claimed that the reason there had not been a catastrophic earthquake in California was due to his murderous handiwork. After interviewing him in prison, the late FBI profiler Robert Ressler asserted that Mullin was a paranoid schizophrenic, and his mental illness may have been accelerated by the use of hallucinogenic drugs such as LSD in his youth. David Berkowitz, famously known as the Son of Sam, is frequently cited as a classic example of the visionary serial killer. Berkowitz, also known as the 44 caliber killer, shot 13 people during his reign of terror in New York. In handwritten letters he sent to the police and press prior to his arrest, Berkowitz claimed that Satan was ordering him to kill. One of the best examples of a visionary killer is Joseph Kallinger. Joseph Kallinger was a diagnosed schizophrenic with an unfortunate childhood, filled with mental, physical, and sexual abuse, which led to many traumatic experiences in his childhood. By mid-1974, Kallinger was reported to be hallucinating constantly. He was holding discussions with a disembodied head called Charlie and receiving divine orders from God. The orders included demands to murder young boys and sever their genitals.
When Kallinger's reign of terror ended, 3 were dead, including his 14-year-old son.
You murdered your own son?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
He was a sacrifice. I was to murder 3 million people on planet Earth. And he was a sacrifice to see if I could murder one of my own. At the end of murdering all the people on Earth, I was going to murder my own family and then take my own life and become God.
What do you think of the death penalty?
I'm opposed to it.
The state has no right to take your life, but you can murder other people?
I don't think anyone has the right to take a life.
Except you?
When I'm under hallucination, I do.
These voices from God, these hallucinations, do you still experience them?
Yes, I do.
Often?
Often.
Do you ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
Killing people.
You still feel like killing people?
Yes.
Describe the feeling that you get when you feel like killing people.
Well, last March 11th, I was hallucinating, and I took a razor blade and I cut a man's throat.
Here in the hospital?
Here in the hospital.
Do you think you'd murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
And you don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either.
Visionary killers are perhaps the best and most observable example of demonic possession and influence. It's quite apparent and obvious that demons are still active in today's day and age. As the book of Ephesians tells us, our battle is not flesh and blood, but with evil spirits in the high places, the rulers of darkness. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was very fruitful. And I hope it aided you in your understanding that this problem has not ceased. These demonic Nephilim spirits are currently active. There is one name these demonic spirits truly fear, and that is the authority of Jesus Christ, the Son of the Most High, the heavenly priest, the Word in the flesh. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support this channel, I do have a Patreon. The link for it is going to be in the bio below. Again, thank you so much for watching, and please let me know your honest thoughts in the comment section below. Once again, thank you. Till next time.